Look, I really don't want to hurt you.
I wouldn't stress about it.
Did you ever think of, if your character was there, how you would have defeated Thanos?
That's a good question. I hadn't really thought it through. I guess, you know, it's like when you shrink, you're able to kind of sneak in and out of places and nobody notices, but I don't know, man. Thanos sure seems mighty powerful. He would pick up on all of that stuff.
My theory is, if Evangeline got to choose what the Wasp would do, she would make herself small, and then she would fly up his nose, and she would punch a hole in his brain, so he would immediately die.
What is good, YouTube? Warstu here with a video on Ant-Man and the Wasp. So make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel videos. So the video clip I played before was Ant-Man himself and Wasp actually talking about during a press interview about Ant-Man and Wasp, talking about how jokingly they would take out Thanos, and their answer is pretty interesting. So we both know that Ant-Man and the Wasp could easily take out Thanos. So minor spoilers for Ant-Man and the Wasp if you haven't seen it yet, but there's not really any spoilers, but you know, people say that. So whenever you ask someone who is the strongest Avenger, they just say Thor, 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 Thor every single time someone says it. But secretly, everyone is wrong. Thor isn't the strongest Avenger. Ant-Man is the strongest Avenger. Yeah, I know, that is kind of funny. But within this video, I'm going to uncover why he's the strongest Avenger, and maybe he's the strongest superhero in the whole universe out of Marvel and DC. So the movie should be out now depending on where you live. I know throughout Europe it's got a timed release, so it comes out in different countries at different times. So you might just be shocked at seriously how powerful Ant-Man really is. So Ant-Man can go from being a normal human size to shrinking to up to 65 feet. At least in the latest Ant-Man movie. Although the physics and science is so inconsistent in terms of when he grows to 65 feet, it wouldn't really happen like that because of gravity, and everything else would actually display completely different. But we're not a science-based channel, so we're not really going to go into that. But how is this done? So Pym Particles are a rare group of subatomic particles that shrink or decrease the size between atoms of the distance between parts of the atom. When he shrinks down, he is like a bullet, in theory. So the quantum realm is a big part of the Ant-Man movie, which is similar to the microverse, but they can't call it the microverse due to the comics and due to legal issues. Why is there always legal issues when it comes to comic book movies? And it will play a massive part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe going forward. Ant-Man will feature in Captain Marvel, maybe due to the quantum realm, but it was confirmed that the quantum realm will be spoken about inside the Captain Marvel movie. And obviously, because of how Ant-Man and the Wasp ends without ruining anything, the post-credit scene gives a big hint that the quantum realm will be a big part going forward. So what is the quantum realm? It's an ultimate dimension that can only be accessed through magical energy, mysterious teleportation using a sling ring, or by a tremendous subatomic shrinking cause device by the Pym particles in the quantum realm. Space and time are believed to be irrelevant. So the quantum realm saved Ant-Man from Thanos' finger snap because of quantum mechanics. No, well, kind of, yeah. But it realistically, because he's in a different dimension, it wouldn't affect him. So in theory, Ant-Man could destroy Thanos by shrinking down, jumping inside his head, and growing so large that it will explode him, which is really funny because that's exactly what the actress Angelina that plays Wasp said. So the problem with this is Marvel has this thing where they don't really kill villains off, except for Killmonger in Black Panther, but he wasn't really a villain, and Loki, Loki wasn't actually killed off, we'll find out in Avengers 4. So they don't really kill villains off, so they're not going to kill Thanos off. Although people think they will, he's not going to be killed because, like, the Eternals movie coming out, the possibility of Galactus, they're not going to come out. So Ant-Man can control all types of insects. So just imagine having Thanos attack by an absolute army of ants. Kind of like in the comics where Squirrel Girl defeated Thanos with an army of squirrels, which sounds ridiculous, but yeah, it could happen. So I came across an article from a physicist that I can't even pronounce his name, so I'm not even going to try, who he said that Ant-Man could destroy even Superman. But obviously he's a quantum physicist, so you gotta like understand what he says. So it says, if someone can go to a place where the laws of physics as we know are not yet formed, at a place where the arrows of time were broke and the fabrics of space are not yet woven, the powers of such a master of the quantum realm only constrained by their ability to come back at the same or similar reality from which they departed. All the superheroes of Marvel and DC Comics combined would not stand a chance against Ant-Man. You can't really disagree with a quantum physicist that basically says that Ant-Man is the strongest superhero in theory. So in theory, Ant-Man is the strongest Avenger ever. And that's before we even talk about like the quantum mechanics and the quantum realm as a whole. So in theory, Ant-Man is like a bullet when he runs into when he's shrunken, which is very interesting. So Pym Particles in the Marvel Cinematic Universe shift the mass into another dimension, which allows the user to keep the same density. This in turn allows the user to keep the same human strength at small size. So in theory, Scott Lang is as strong as Ant-Man because when he shrinks down, he's still got his adult human strength. I'm not saying he's like mega strong, but he's got the strength of a human when he shrunk down, which is why in Civil War you could see Ant-Man throwing around Black Widow, who's an absolute savage, like she's absolutely nothing, which is kind of cool. The super strength comes from a small part of contact with the same strength, preventing the force from being spread out over a higher area like a bullet hitting weak skin versus a bullet hitting a jacket cemented tile, spreading the force over the body, or sitting on the bed of nails versus stepping on a Lego brick. You kind of get the point. So in theory, Ant-Man can create a black hole. So whenever people say Thor is stronger, all you've got to say is Ant-Man is a bullet running and he can create a black hole. This channel isn't really a scientific channel, but I did come across an interesting video when I was making this video called Because Science, and it's a similar video, but they go into a lot of detail. I will link it in the description box. You should check it out. He goes into much greater detail than anyone ever could, but essentially he says that basically the same what I say, but he says it in a lot more detail. So have I changed your opinion about Thor not being the strongest Avenger and the fact that Ant-Man and actually the Wasp are potentially the strongest team up ever in the whole MCU? Now, I know that Thor actually isn't quantified to be the strongest in the MCU because Kevin Feige said that Captain Marvel is the strongest. And whenever I say that, I get a bunch of comments saying no, Thor is. But realistically, due to the quantum realm, quantum mechanics, and the fact that Ant-Man can shrink and go inside of you, it just makes him the strongest. And he can control ants, he can ride ants. He is an ant, in theory. So anyway, guys, please like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know, did I change your opinion? Do you still think Thor's the strongest? But I'm not actually saying that Ant-Man is the strongest. I'm saying, in theoretically speaking, he is the strongest in science. But whether they will actually relay this to the MCU is a different story, because a lot of the physics in the Ant-Man first movie and Ant-Man second movie don't really make sense when you watch it. How a building can shrink and how you can shrink down and be inside a shrunk building. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense in terms of like where the building would actually be in space and time. It just doesn't make, there's a lot of stuff from Ant-Man and the Wasp that doesn't make sense in terms of physics, but no one actually thinks about that. So in theory, I'm going to conclude this video by saying Ant-Man is the strongest Avenger. So like always, guys, please like, subscribe, and comment, and I will catch you in another video soon, and I'll catch you later.